While the internet is screaming for answers about Justin Bieber, one person has completely disappeared. No interviews, no statements, no defense. And according to multiple reports, Justin Bieber's mother quietly relocated to Hawaii, right when the conversation around the music industry exploded again. That timing is what people can't stop talking about. Hi guys, welcome back to I Love Gossip. Today's story isn't just about fame, money, or celebrity drama. It's about silence. And why silence at the wrong moment can speak louder than words. For years, Patty Millett was visible, vocal, public. She talked openly about faith, motherhood, and raising Justin as a single teenage mom. But suddenly, as renewed documentaries, lawsuits, and online discussions reignited scrutiny of the music industry, Patty went quiet. Fans noticed first, then gossip pages picked it up, then reports surfaced claiming she had moved to Hawaii. No goodbye post, no explanation, just gone. Now, moving to Hawaii isn't suspicious by itself. Wanting privacy isn't a crime. But when a public figure vanishes during a moment of global attention, people ask questions. And the biggest one is this: why now? To understand why this silence feels so loud, you have to go back to the beginning. Patty Millett was a teenage mother raising Justin Bieber in Canada. She has spoken many times about struggling financially, relying on faith, and doing everything she could to give her son a better life. Justin wasn't just her child, he was her hope. She has also admitted, in her own words, that she had heard horror stories about the entertainment industry. She knew it wasn't a safe or gentle place for kids. In one interview, she even said she didn't want Justin dreaming about fame because she was afraid of what it could do to him. That's why what happened next still confuses people. In 2008, Justin's YouTube videos caught the attention of Scooter Braun. From there, everything moved fast. Meetings, flights, industry introductions. At just 13 years old, Justin was suddenly being courted by powerful adults in a business known for chewing people up. Patty approved the move. She supported the career. She signed the papers. At the time, it looked like a miracle. A struggling single mom and her gifted son getting a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. But hindsight has changed how people view that moment. Because when a child enters the entertainment industry, control starts shifting. Parents don't just hand over schedules, they hand over access, authority, influence, and in many cases, decision-making power. Years later, Justin Bieber would openly speak about feeling lost, overwhelmed, and damaged by early fame. He admitted to substance use at a young age. He talked about not knowing where to turn. In one emotional clip, he said he wanted to protect younger artists from going through what he experienced. That statement alone changed everything. It reframed Justin's story from child star success to something far more complicated. So when renewed conversations about industry abuse began trending again, fans naturally looked toward the people who were supposed to protect him, and that includes his mother. But instead of speaking up, Patty disappeared. No interviews defending her decisions, no clarification, no explanation. Psychologists often say something uncomfortable but important. Victims sometimes feel deeper resentment toward enablers than toward abusers, because enablers had a choice. They were supposed to protect. That doesn't make Patty a villain, but it does place her in a difficult position. And now, as the world revisits the past, she's thousands of miles away. Why Hawaii? Why the silence? And what does she know that the public doesn't? Those questions are exactly why this story isn't going away, because silence doesn't end conversations, it fuels them, and this is only the beginning. There's a moment in every celebrity story where the narrative changes, where what once looked like success suddenly looks like survival. For Justin Bieber, many people believe that moment is happening right now, because as the industry faces what many are calling a reckoning, one name keeps resurfacing, not as a headline, but as a shadow. Sean Diddy Combs. And this is where the conversation gets uncomfortable. As lawsuits, documentaries, and public allegations involving powerful music figures began circulating again, fans started revisiting old footage, old interviews, old jokes, old relationships that once seemed harmless, but now feel unsettling in hindsight. One of those relationships is Justin Bieber's early connection to Diddy. To be clear, there are no proven claims that Justin Bieber was a victim of any specific crime. What we are discussing here are publicly available clips, timelines, and questions people are asking as part of a broader industry reckoning. And those questions matter because long before Justin was a global superstar, he was a teenager surrounded by grown men with power, money, and influence. One of the most talked about moments resurfacing online is a video from years ago where Diddy publicly talks about spending 48 hours with a young Justin Bieber. At the time, it was played off as mentorship, opportunity, and fun. Today, many viewers say it hits very differently. In the clip, Diddy openly says he doesn't have legal guardianship, but that Justin would be with him anyway. He jokes about luxury, access, and experiences that are described vaguely without details. That vagueness is exactly what unsettles people now. Because when an adult refuses to explain what happens behind closed doors with a minor, curiosity turns into concern. Again, this does not prove wrongdoing. But it does raise the question people can't ignore anymore. Who was protecting Justin Bieber during these moments? The entertainment industry often disguises access as opportunity. Kids are told they're lucky. Parents are told this is how success works. And powerful figures are rarely questioned because they control the gate. That's what makes the current reckoning so significant. For decades, stories about exploitation in entertainment were dismissed as rumors. Victims were silenced. Power protected itself. But now, with lawsuits and firsthand testimonies coming forward in unrelated cases, the public is finally willing to ask questions it once avoided. And when those questions are asked, old connections don't disappear. Justin Bieber was introduced to Diddy through industry mentorship circles. He was also connected to artists who themselves have spoken carefully about troubling experiences in their youth. None of this existed in a vacuum. What's striking is that as this renewed scrutiny unfolded, Justin Bieber remained silent, while his mother disappeared. Fans can't help but connect those dots.
Manager, you Scooter.
Watch this.
That's right, Scooter Bryant.
Watch this.
Scooter is the man that actually discovered Justin Bieber. Scooter Brown was 25 years old. He was a single man living in Atlanta alone when he found Justin Bieber on the internet in the middle of the night. The middle of the night. He found a little white boy with nice hair on the internet. Sounds to me like Scooter was fresh off a dick beating session.
Industry figures, permission had to be given. Contracts had to be signed. Guardianship decisions had to be approved. Those decisions were made by adults, not Justin. And that brings us back to Patty Mallet. When parents place their children into powerful systems, they rely on trust. Trust that mentors will guide, not exploit. Trust that executives will protect, not profit at any cost. Trust that fame won't come with a price too high to pay. But history shows us something harsh. The industry doesn't protect children. It protects assets. That's why the phrase, "the reckoning," keeps coming up. Because what we're seeing now isn't about one person or one moment. It's about decades of silence finally breaking. And people are asking, if the industry is being held accountable now, what does that mean for the parents who help their children enter it? That question makes many uncomfortable, including Patty. Over the years, Patty has spoken publicly about faith, forgiveness, and healing, but she has never directly addressed the industry figures people are now questioning. She has never explained how decisions were made behind the scenes. And as Diddy's name becomes associated with lawsuits, investigations, and disturbing allegations, none involving Justin directly, the optics still matter. Silence in moments like this feels deliberate, because defending the past means revisiting choices that can't be undone. Justin himself has hinted at deep emotional wounds without pointing fingers. In interviews, he's described feeling empty, confused, and overwhelmed during his early years of fame. He's spoken about wanting to protect younger artists from going through what he did. That alone suggests he believes something went wrong. And when someone acknowledges pain without naming the source, the audience starts filling in the blanks. This is why people are revisiting old footage of Justin looking uncomfortable around certain figures as he got older. They're rewatching interviews where his body language shifts. They're noticing moments where admiration looks more like obligation. None of this proves guilt, but it does suggest complexity. And complexity is often what systems rely on to avoid accountability. Because if nothing is clearly defined, no one can be blamed. But the reckoning we're witnessing right now is different. People are no longer satisfied with vague explanations. They're asking who signed what, who approved which trips, who benefited financially, who stayed silent. And that's why Patty Millette's absence matters so much. If she were speaking, she could frame the narrative. She could explain her mindset. She could share her perspective as a young, struggling mother navigating impossible decisions. But instead, she's silent. And silence in moments of reckoning is often interpreted as guilt, even when it isn't. That's the danger. Because public opinion doesn't wait for facts. It fills the void. So as the industry continues to face exposure, lawsuits, and consequences, one truth becomes unavoidable. Children should never be the collateral damage of fame. And yet, they often are. Justin Bieber survived. He built a career. He's wealthy. He's famous. But survival doesn't mean unharmed. And as the reckoning continues, more people are asking whether success stories like his came at a cost no child should have to pay. This isn't about tearing anyone down. It's about finally asking the questions that were ignored for too long. And in the next chapter of this story, we're going to look at what happens after the fame, when the spotlight fades, the contracts end, and the truth starts knocking. Because reckoning doesn't begin in courtrooms. It begins in conscience.
Absolutely. I'm so honored to be on this call. You know, I respect you so much. I always have, always will. What you've done for this planet, who you are and what you do for your family is something to be commendable. And people look up to you all around the world. So I just want to say thank you for your encouragement to me. Obviously, what you mean to the world is so special, but obviously to the Black community and what you're doing right now, I just want to say raising awareness for the Black community and what is happening. It's absolutely ridiculous. And what you're doing is powerful, and it needs to be said. So I thank you so much for doing that as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Fame creates success, but it also leaves scars. Years after becoming one of the most recognizable artists in the world, Justin Bieber looks very different from the kid who once smiled through every interview. He's quieter, more guarded, more honest. He's spoken openly about mental health struggles, trauma, and feeling lost during his early years. He's admitted that fame at such a young age took a toll he didn't understand until much later. And that honesty has forced the public to look back, not to assign guilt, but to ask whether the system ever protected him.
A Lamborghini.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
Yeah, I know. When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last
He
time.
had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Well, apparently not. Something, everything ain't for everybody.
Didn't know that Puffy was Usher. Now, one person didn't know what the saddest thing in the world is what they did to Justin Bieber.
What was that?
That's sad. Bad footy.
When he was a kid.
I hate to say that, but I hate to say that because I really like Justin Bieber. I feel bad for Justin Bieber. And this is when that happened if Justin Bieber came from a wealthy family. Justin Bieber pretty much came from a poor family, but the young man was so talented, and he could have been bigger than Michael Jackson.
At all. Justin has said he wants to protect younger artists from going through what he experienced. That statement alone suggests he believes the industry failed him in some way. But when systems fail children, accountability becomes complicated. Parents make decisions under pressure, managers promise safety, executives prioritize profit. Everyone believes they're doing the right thing until years later, when the damage becomes visible. That's where Patty Millette's story becomes central again. Publicly, she continues to speak about faith and healing. Privately, she hasn't addressed the industry conversations or the renewed scrutiny surrounding Justin's early years. Some fans believe she deserves grace. Others believe accountability doesn't disappear just because intentions were good. The truth is uncomfortable. Both can exist at the same time. A parent can love their child and still make choices that lead to harm. Psychologists often say the hardest thing for parents of child stars is facing hindsight. Realizing they trusted systems that weren't designed to protect children is devastating. So why Hawaii? Why distance? Why silence? Some believe it's emotional survival. Others think it's avoidance. Some see it as guilt. Others see it as grief. But one thing is clear, silence doesn't stop the reckoning. As more people speak out, as more systems are questioned, stories like Justin Bieber's won't disappear. They'll continue to resurface, not to cancel people, but to demand change. Because until the entertainment industry prioritizes children over profit, history will keep repeating itself, and the cost will always be paid later. So here's the real question. Do parents of child stars deserve understanding or scrutiny? Can the industry ever truly protect young talent? And does silence help healing or delay it? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you want more celebrity deep dives, like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to I Love Gossip, because these stories matter.